हरि नाम बोलो,
राम राम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो,
राम राम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो,
राम राम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो।
अल्लाह साईं येसु नानक,
अल्लाह साईं यीशु नानक,
अल्लाह साईं येसु नानक,
अल्लाह साईं यीशु नानक।
सौराष्ट्र महावीर बुद्ध नाम बोलो,
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 गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो।
ये नाम सारे है जीवन सहारे,
ये नाम सारे जीवन सहारे,
ये नाम सारे है जीवन सहारे,
ये नाम सारे जीवन सहारे।
परमानंद के खोलते हैं द्वारे,
परमानंद के खोलते हैं द्वारे,
परमानंद के खोलते हैं द्वारे,
परमानंद के खोलते हैं द्वारे।
जो नाम चाहो नाम बोलो,
जो नाम चाहो वो नाम बोलो,
जो नाम चाहो नाम बोलो,
जो नाम चाहो वो नाम बोलो।
प्रेम से बोलो, भाव से बोलो,
प्रेम से बोलो, भाव से बोलो,
प्रेम से बोलो, भाव से बोलो,
प्रेम से बोलो, भाव से बोलो।
गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो,
राम राम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो,
राम राम बोलो, हरि नाम बोलो।
अल्लाह साईं येसु नानक,
अल्लाह साईं यीशु नानक,
सौराष्ट्र महावीर बुद्ध राम बोलो,
सौराष्ट्र महावीर बुद्ध नाम बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो।
ये नाम सारे है जीवन सहारे,
ये नाम सारे जीवन सहारे,
परमानंद के खोलते हैं द्वारे,
परमानंद के खोलते हैं द्वारे।
जो नाम चाहो नाम बोलो,
जो नाम चाहो वो नाम बोलो,
प्रेम से बोलो, भाव से 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 बोलो।
गोविंद बोलो, गोपाल बोलो।
Lord of compassion, you sing the song now. The world
तेरा नाम एक सहारा,
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 तेरा नाम एक सहारा।
Lord of compassion, you sing the song now. The world resounds with your praises.
Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, 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 Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, 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 Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida, 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 Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida.
भगवान ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान मात पिता गुरु बंधु तुम हो भक्त सखा भगवान दीन सखा भगवान भगवान प्राण सखा भगवान साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान
मनमोहनानंद लाल मनमोहनानंद मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना
प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
परति पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
परति पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी 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 साई मुरारी
त्रिपुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
हे परति पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
हे ऋषिकेशा हृदय निवासा हृदय निवासा
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 साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
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 जय करती पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
परति पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
करती पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
परति पुरीशा प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी
हे ऋषिकेशा हृदय निवासा हृदय निवासा
हे ऋषिकेशा हृदय निवासा हृदय निवासा
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी
पुरीशा
प्रशांति वासा साई मुरारी शांति शांति शांति
I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Lord and Master, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, dear leaders of our organization, delegates from all the countries, members, guests, and all those who follow us all over the world online, I wish you a very good morning and loving Sai Rams to all of you. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome you to the second day of the International Conference of the Sathya Sai International Organization with the topic Love and Service. In this beautiful location that really deserves its name, Sai Prema Nilayam. And you might have experienced the quality of service already when you had breakfast this morning. So we can dedicate the rest of the day to love. And whatever we do besides our program, don't forget to inhale this love out of the atmosphere in this beautiful hall. To make our conference a success, we have to follow some housekeeping guidelines, and I would like to make you familiar with them. In general, please maintain silence and decorum befitting a Sai gathering. Please turn off your mobile phones or put them in silent mode. The conference doors will be closed 10 minutes past the start time, so be punctual. Guests are requested not to wear footwear in the following areas: in the altar area, including the stage, in the Jayur Mandir, the main auditorium here, in the meditation room, which is on my left-hand side, in the Dwarakamai, the worship room of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, which is on the left-hand side, in the area, and please leave your footwear only on the shoe racks provided at each entrance. The restrooms for ladies and gents are on the rear side of this building, and additional restrooms are located outside the building near the tents. And if you come with a car, please drive slowly and safely in the parking lot, paying attention to the pedestrians and children. Concerning the food, please do not bring any beverages or food into the primary meeting areas, the meditation room, and the Dwarakamai. All meals, including breakfast, lunch, and dinner, will be served outdoors on all the days. We request the ladies to exit from the ladies' entrance on your right side, and men from the men's entrance on your left side. Devotees may also use the entrance on the rear side. SSE students will be served first. To facilitate the orderly serving of food, we request that delegates leave in small groups for their meals, and all those engaged in the program actively will join at the end. Now, we should have a look at the program we have prepared for today. We are already behind schedule. But the moment we start, we will enjoy a flag procession of the countries participating in this wonderful conference. Afterwards, at about 9:10, we will listen to the inaugural address given by Dr. Narendra Reddy, the chairman of the Sathya Sai International Organization, followed at about 9:30 by the keynote address, which will be delivered by Mr. Leonardo Gutter, member of the Prashanti Council. And then our beloved Lord and Master himself at 9:45 will give us his discourse on divine love. At 9:50, Swami's love in action will enjoy us. We will listen how the Sathya Sai International Organization is about to transform the world. At 10:30, we will have a break. And this is followed by our morning workshop session. Now it is important that you listen. At 11 a.m., punctually, these workshops are going to start. As we have different workshops parallel, I have to give you the rooms where they take place. You see, we have this beautiful hall which might be divided into 3 parts. And you see there these walls that might be moved and close and shut one part from the other. So the first area here, this is number 1. The middle section is number 2. And just at the end of the hall, we find area number 3. There's going to be a workshop called Organization Excellence, which will take part in section number 2, which is the middle section of this hall. Parallel, there will be healthcare services and preventive health care, which is in the area just at the end of the hall in area 3. And here in front, in area 1, we will have the panel discussion on divine love. Please be aware that a pre-registration was required for these workshops. And if you look at your badges, you will find your workshop listed up there when you registered for them. So please let all those who have registered come into the area first and take their seat. And if it happens that your workshop is overcrowded and you were not registered for it, please don't insist on staying there, but join one of the other workshops. For the panel discussion, which is a questions and answers session, if you have already some questions in mind, please write them down on a piece of paper and hand them over at the beginning of this workshop or this panel discussion to the moderator. This will help us to proceed in a good way. Okay. After the workshops, we will have our lunch break at 12:30, followed by the afternoon workshop session, which starts at 2:00 p.m. There we have environmental sustainability, which will take place here in the section 1 and 2. And communication and media, which is in the back of this room in section 3. Wow. So far about these few announcements. And now I think it's time. Let's get ready for love. And I would like to ask the representatives of more than 30 countries to just start with the flag procession and come into the room. Thank you very much. And the first country I would like to ask to step forward and offer the flag to Swami is our hosting country, the United States of America. Followed by our master's home, India. Then let us welcome Argentina. And just coming from the other side of the world, Australia. Let us move to Africa and welcome Botswana. Swami would like us here without having Brazil with us. And welcome to our neighboring country, Canada. Next, I would like to invite to step forward Chile. And we switch to the European continent with Croatia. Give a warm hand to Denmark. And then let us welcome Ecuador. Followed by El Salvador. And now it's my special pleasure to welcome my home country, Germany. And I'd like to invite Greece to come forward. Followed by our friends in Hong Kong. Welcome to Iran. Kenya, let us greet Kenya. And we love to welcome Malaysia. Please give a warm hand of applause to Mexico. And I'm happy to see the Netherlands with us. All the way through the channel, we have guests from Panama. And not to forget, Paraguay. Don't get tired and welcome Poland. And I'm happy to introduce our guests from St. Lucia. Followed by Singapore. Welcome our brother from South Africa. No, it's our sister. Sorry. Not to forget South Korea. And then Sri Lanka is asked to step forward. Please come forward, Thailand. Just followed by Trinidad and Tobago. Let us welcome the United Arab Emirates. And our sister representing the United Kingdom. Then we have Zambia. And last but not least, and I almost forget to mention them, but therefore it is even a more hearty welcome for New Zealand. So let me just make one short announcement in addition to what I've said before. These flag bearers are asked to gather at the rear end of the hall outside at 1:30 today in order to make some photos. So inform your neighbors, 1:30 flag bearers outside the building. And you have to bring your flags with you. Okay. And now, brothers and sisters, it is a great honor and it is a pleasure and a joy to invite the chairman of the Sathya Sai International Organization, Dr. Narendra Nath Reddy, to give us the inaugural address for today. Dr. Reddy has been a consultant and a practicing internist endocrinologist in Southern California, USA, for more than 40 years. He has been serving in the divine mission for nearly 4 decades, and 4 generations of Dr. Reddy's family have been followers of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and they have hosted a Sathya Sai Center in their home for more than 30 years. Please give a hearty welcome to Dr. Narendra Nath Reddy.
Sarvarupadharam Shantam, Sarvanamadharam Shivam, Satchidanandam Advaitam, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. I offer my salutation to the Lord, who is all forms and peace, who is all names and auspiciousness, who is knowledge, existence, and bliss, who is beyond all the dualities, who is truth, goodness, and beauty. I offer my prayerful pranams at the divine lotus feet of our dearest, loving, and omnipresent Lord, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to everyone present here, and many other people around the world who have joined online. When I witnessed this flag procession this morning, I heard about 35 countries from our 114 countries are represented here. And Swami one time said 170 countries. So one of these days, we'll have divine glory and mission in 170 countries. So this reminded me of the procession we had in 2007. I don't know how many of you are there for the youth conference, and people were carrying the flags, and Swami was so happy. So because Swami said, see the unity and diversity that we can see today, that he said as there are nations are many, earth is one. Stars are many, sky is one. Jewels are many, gold is one. So we are all one in the Lord. See, here our theme is love and service. Because of limitations of the time, our master of ceremonies is watching me. So I will try to just touch a few of the pearls of wisdom I learned from Swami about love and service. Swami said, love is the path, love is the source, and love is the goal of human life. So this is the fundamental principle. So for that, we need, Swami said, God is love, love is God, live in love. And a beautiful example he said, if you want to see the moon, how do you see? Through the help of the moonlight. Similarly, God, who is love, we can experience him only through love. So all emphasizes about love. What did Lord Jesus say? Love thy God with all thy heart, mind, soul, and strength. And equally important, love thy neighbor as thyself. And Saint Paul, the great apostle, he said, you may have faith to say a mountain to move, may move, but without love it is of no use. And you may talk in all languages, prophecy, you may be scholar, but without love it is of no use. You may give everything you have in charity to others, without love it is of no benefit. Faith, love, hope are great, but of all, the greatest is love. So love, love, love. That is what Swami repeatedly emphasizes. But what is this love? Yesterday, beautifully, the rabbi was telling, it is very casually used word love, I love you. But really, do you know what love is? What Swami has shown what real divine love is. Divine love is very pure. And he is selfless. He doesn't think about it oneself. It is love for love's sake. So Swami gave the beautiful example of the gopikas, cowherd girls of Vrindavan. So Lord Krishna wanted to teach a lesson to the great sage Narada. He thought he was a great devotee of the Lord. And he said, Lord, how is it gopikas are great devotees? Because there are so many other people like Uddhava, there are so many people, including himself. Then Lord Krishna feigned, oh, I have such a bad headache. Go and get me the dust of the feet of some good devotee. The Narada hesitated to give the dust of his feet because he said, I will be in the hell forever. Then he went on asking so many people, the queens of Lord Krishna, many devotees. Everybody said they will do anything for him except give the dust of their feet because that is sacrilege. They think they will be in hell. Then they went to these gopikas asked, can you give the dust? Oh, very happily. They went on, danced around, and get as much dust you take. He says, don't you know you are giving the dust of your feet for Lord? It doesn't matter, you will be in hell. Do you know that? We don't mind being in hell. What all we are interested is our Lord Krishna's headache should be gone. That is love for love's sake. You don't think about your own hell, heaven, anything. You love for love's sake. That is what Swami said, real divine love means. But to live in that love, Swami says we should have priority to God. I know all of you give priority to God. That is why you are here from different parts of the world and on this weekend. So if we want to have Sai in our life, first, yes, Swami first, yea, all others next, that little I last. So we should have highest priority. Swami Vivekananda used to say, you should have grahavishta buddhi, as if you are possessed by something. So always think about God, talk about God, hear about God, see God, breathe God, live in God. That is real spirituality. Highest priority to God, you are possessed by it, then you live in God. Second thing is, you have one-pointedness, not wavering, jump from one guru to another guru, one type of worship to another. You should have one-pointedness in spirituality. And third important thing is intensity. He was telling 4 generations of devotees and all that. I'm devotee for 50 years, 40 years. It's good, but it's not the duration important. How much intense we are. That is why Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, you should be mad after God. Everybody is mad in the world, he says. Everybody is mad. Some are mad after wealth, some are mad after power, some are mad after sense enjoyments. But better to be mad for God. He was mad for God, Sri Ramakrishna. And he said, if you have intense love for God, for 3 days, he says 3 days, not three decades, but 3 years, but 3 days you cry for God day and night, which he showed in his life, you will have the vision of God. And he showed in his life, he had Mother Kali's vision. He used to rub his face around the ground. Mother, another day is gone. I didn't have your vision. When will you appear? That kind of intensity. But our Lord, compassionate, Swami, said, you don't need to do that. In 2007, I was talking about the youth conference. He said, if you think about me intensely for how long? 11 seconds, not 11 years, 11 days, 11-second intensity that shows the intensity is important. Completely absorb that. You will have my darshan wherever you are, whatever time, and whenever. So just always is ready. That's so what we need to have is intensity of love for God. Then, how do we nurture this love for God? We all have love, but you need to increase the love. That is, the satsang helps. That's where the company of the holy people, we all love God, and we nurture that love for God by being together. Because we have one thing common, we all love God, we want to serve God. And then another practice, this is Swami said in Prema Vahini, this is the first Vahini of the 16 Vahinis Swami wrote is Prema Vahini, to show how much importance to give to Prema love. And here he says, one of the best ways to nurture the love is practicing omnipresence of God. Always think God is next to you, above you, below you, behind you, inside you, outside you. When we have that complete conviction, then we'll always think good, we'll always see good, we'll always hear good, we'll always do good and be good. Because we know how Swami is watching. Will you do anything wrong in presence of Swami? So that is practice his presence. Then what is the obstacle for developing divine love? Is finding faults in others, criticizing others. That's the greatest disease, Swami says. All the good deeds we do, all the good austerities we do will go waste when we go and find faults with others. Lord Jesus said, why do you look at a speck in somebody's eye, look in your own eye? And Swami made it even that simple. Why do you want to show one finger to others? Then when you're showing that, 3 fingers are pointing towards us. So important is to develop, nurture divine love. We need to not find faults in others. I'm just touching the highlights. We can go into depth in Prema Vahini. Finally, how do we know if we live in divine love? We talk about it. Do I live in divine love? The definition. If you really live in divine love, you will be living equanimity. So whether it is praise or blame, success or failure, profit or loss, in pairs of opposite, you are always in that state. So then you know you are really living in divine love. That if you want to know more detail, go to Lord Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12. Sloka 13 to 20, he shows Swami used to let the students chant this particular chapter in Prashanthi Nilayam all the time. What are the qualities of a devotee? And another where you can find the qualities of a devotee where you are not is if you can go to Saint Paul's letter to Corinthians. He beautifully says what really divine love means. Love is patient, kind. I don't want time limitation, but read that one of the historic letter of Saint Paul to Corinthians. Yeah, Father Mati is here, so this is one of the well-quoted letters. So these are the few highlights of love, and now I'll come to service. That is another topic you're doing. Service, simply, Swami said, service is love in action. But what is service? We said we are all doing service, giving food, giving shelter, giving water, giving education to the needy, giving health care to the needy. Yes, that's all service. But Swami said, don't confine service to that. A good word you say to somebody, encouraging word you say to somebody, a smile you give, that is a service. You give a pat on somebody's back, that is service. Taking an old person across the crosswalk, that is a service. Service is much more than that. Even more powerful than that is you are sitting quietly here and thinking good thoughts about somebody. That is a service. Nobody sees even you are doing that. Once people ask Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi, you are sitting in Arunachala, you don't go and do any service. What is this? They said, powerful divine thoughts you think about, they penetrate and travel millions of miles and penetrate the walls of the caves and can help people. So that is why the most powerful service you can do is Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. May all the worlds be happy. When you encompass everybody with your divine love, that is wonderful service. That is why every 2 months we have Gayatri Mantra, Samasta. People may not think literally you are giving sandwich. That is all service, but this is great service at the higher level, at the level of the thoughts. But then what is the purpose of service? Swami says, the purpose of service is to purify our heart, get rid of our ego. If we don't do that, any amount of service we do, as a spiritual seeker, it won't have any benefit. It will benefit anyway when you give sandwich to hungry to appease their hunger, thirsty you give water. But for a spiritual seeker, Swami said there's two important things. One is, that is why in Sanskrit the word is called Swayam Sevak. That means you are serving yourself. That means for our own self-transformation. We should clearly remember that purpose of service is for our own sake, not for somebody else. Second thing is, we should remember this is Narayana Seva. We are not serving somebody, but we are serving God Himself. That complete conviction we should be there. For that, we should have the attitude of gratitude. Whenever we serve, we should be grateful to the person receiving the service, not as if the condescending attitude, but reverential attitude. We should do the service. Swami Vivekananda used to say, go on your knees and offer something, not in the down like that. Should be really grateful to the person receiving the service. Swami was an example. So a lot of you know the story. Once buffalo in Horsley Hills carried water down the hills up, and he thanked everybody. Then he told people, wait, I have to go and thank somebody else. And people were waiting. What was he doing? He went up and went to the buffalo and tapped it, Bangaru, the Goli, and then materialized Vibhuti and put it in the head and thanked for carrying the water. Even for buffalo, he was expressing gratitude. And I have a devotee, he's no more. Some people know, like James Johnson. So he used to call whenever we come back Prashanthi Nilayam to have Vibhuti. One time we were out of the house and he called our house and then he said, please, Mrs. Reddy, so please send us the Vibhuti. We were not home. He said, answering machine, thank you for taking the message. So he was grateful to the answering machine. It served its purpose. So everything, be grateful. This mic is serving a purpose. We are able to hear. Everything in life, whatever really serves you, never forget. Swami says, ingratitude is the greatest sin. So in Discourse he said. So we should be grateful to everyone, everything. That attitude of gratitude is important. Finally, two obstacles. What are those? Doership and enjoyership. I am doing this, whether it is service or talks or bhajans or that is the greatest. We should have conviction God is the doer. And the enjoyer, God is the enjoyer of the results. I will tell you two cute stories, anecdotes which really happened in Prashant Nilayam this 30 years ago. There was a group of devotees from USA took a nice drama to Prashant Nilayam. Swami was very happy, everybody was very pleased. And next day, this devotee who was the leader of the group, he was sitting in the veranda. Swami said, drama was very good. So he says, Swami, all your grace, like all of us say, but we really mean or not, he said, all your grace, Swami. It's good, Swami said. Oh, then Swami said, who is the director of the drama? Swami, you are the director of the drama. Producer, you are the producer, Swami. Then Swami says, what about you? What are you then? I'm just an assistant, Swami. Swami said, I don't need any assistance. So I can, even to think that you are an assistant, an instrument, is also ego. So everything, the service done by God, through God, and the end is God. Another example, how we think we own. So one of the devotees invited Swami to his house. We all invited, we loved to have him at our house, have dinner, lunch. So he invited, Swami, please come to my house. Swami said, oh, your house? This man is smart, he realized, no, Swami, not my house, our house. She said, oh, 50% partnership. Then she says, no, Swami, your house. Then why are you inviting me to my house? So like that, always we should be, remember, he is the doer, he is the enjoyer, everything. So once we do the service with this attitude, the one who is serving, the served, and the process of service become one. Then really we live in that prashanti, supreme bliss, peace that passeth understanding. So let us practice these few advice Swami has given us, and we pray everybody to enjoy the conference. Jai Sadam.
It is always such an inspiration to listen to these words of wisdom coming out of the mouth of Dr. Narendranath Reddy, our beloved chairman. But we are not going to tell him that he is a good speaker, just not to blow up the obstacles. But I recognized when I watched him talking that he is a needy person, because he is probably the only one who has no smile got yet. So if you meet him during the day, just offer him your smile to make him happy. And now it's my pleasure to invite the second speaker of today to give us the keynote address, which is Mr. Leonardo Gutter, a member of the Prashanti Council. Mr. Leonardo Pablo Gutter, psychologist by profession, has been serving in the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization for over 4 decades. He has made many personal interactions with Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. He has traveled all over Latin America and has lovingly built the Latin America movement of the Sathya Sai International Organization. He previously served as the chairman of Zone 2, Latin America. Mr. Gutter is a founding member of the Sri Sathya Sai Trust of Argentina. He is a member of the Prashanti Council, director of the Sri Sathya Sai World Foundation, and co-chair of the Intellectual Property Committee. Working with the entertainment industry over the past 43 years, Mr. Gutter represents some of the largest American, European, and Japanese TV and cinema studios in Latin America. Please welcome Mr. Leonardo Gutter.
I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master and Lord Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, who is here now, is in the hearts of each one of us and permeating everything. Dear brothers and sisters, I offer my love to all and each one of you. I'm so honored to be here. We may think that the Prashanti Council planned this conference. This is not true. Swami planned this long, long ago. He also had in his plan your presence here. Each one of you is here not because you have decided to come. Your hearts responded to the divine call. You received the divine touch. He brought you here because he has very important plans for you. Each one of you will have to play an important role in the divine mission. We're going to be not just spectators or witnesses of the divine mission, will be active instruments on the most magnificent change in human consciousness that ever has been seen in this planet. We have a very important responsibility, and we are, as our sister said yesterday, we are so lucky. I ask the forgiveness of Dr. Narendra Reddy. He has one of the most incredible memories I have ever seen in a human being. So he had listened to this many times, so he'll have to bear with me once again. I think he can tell my stories better than myself. Many years ago, when I went for my first trip to India, I went to see Swami. He was on a tour in the south of India, in Madras, now it's called Chennai. So I went there. And I had an incredible time. Every day I was able to give a flower to him, a photograph, take Padnamaskara, he gave me vibhuti. I thought it was normal. And one day there was a cultural program in Abbotsbury, and Swami, after giving his speech, he sat to watch a cultural program. He was not far from where I was seated. So I thought, what an incredible opportunity. I was not in white. I was with jeans, long hair. I said, I want to introduce myself. So I stood up and went to him. No one stopped me. And I reached him and I gave him my visiting card. He took it and he did like this. You are very lucky. And yes, of course I'm very lucky. But so are we all. We are so lucky. I will tell you why. You have heard this many times. I will expand a little more. Why are we so lucky? First of all, we might have traveled hundreds of miles or thousands of miles to be here, but actually we have traveled thousands of lives to be here. It all started with the Om, right? It started with the Om. And then everything appeared. Mineral, we were minerals. Then after eons of time, we became vegetables. Eons of earth years, we became animals. Long time, we appear with a human form. The first forms of human, we were more animals than humans. Human form, but animal behavior. Then, one day, we started to evolve. And we had a mind, we had the human form, but a little, with the mind, the demonic behavior. But then we evolved, and we reached the point where we had human form and human behavior. But then we had to continue to have this human form and divine behavior. So we are all here because we are in one stage in this evolution. At the beginning, in one life, We felt that life was not just eating, drinking, sleeping, and enjoying the senses. We felt that life has to have a bigger sense, purpose. And then we started our search. What is that purpose? And we started to look within. We became spiritual aspirants. Many lives after that moment, we realized that we couldn't find the answer by ourselves. We knocked the door. And the answer appeared through a book, a friend, someone told us that touched our hearts. And we start reading that, we start practicing that. But then one day we realized that it was not just by reading books. We may know by heart all the content of the books, but nothing happened. We needed more. And the master that appeared to our life said, yes, you need to practice. You don't need to love me. You need to deserve my love. That is when we became Sai devotees. But not only that. You know, it is said that there are 8.4 forms of life in this universe. And the most important is the human form. Why are we so fortunate? Listen to this. We are not with a human form at this time, but we are born when the Purna Avatar incarnated. But understand this. We say that there are 8 billion people on this planet. This is not the real number. Krishna was here how many years ago? 5,700 years. Since that time till today, trillions of souls have incarnated on planet Earth. Trillions. Every moment, every second a person dies, another is born. So imagine the quantity of souls that have been in this planet. Out of those, you have to count your fortune, not out of 8 billion, out of trillions of souls that manifested in this planet, and out of those trillions of souls, we had the good fortune of being born as human beings at the time when an avatar incarnates. And not only that, out of the 8 billions, only a small portion knows about the avatar. In Argentina, I would say 80% of Argentinian population, if you say Sai Baba, they will say, yes, I know. They are not Sai devotees, but they know. But they are not Sai devotees. We have been born as human beings. We have been born when Swami came. We know about the incarnation, but we are his devotees. And what that means that he called us and we have been chosen by him. And what that really means, and this is the real point you must understand, it means that many lives ago, he called your souls and said to your souls, yes, I will be your master, you will be my disciple. I will always guide you, teach you, protect you, and love you till you merge in me. That was a divine promise he gave us many, many lives ago. And we are here now in this life telling yes to him. And that's why he brought you here. He has, as I said before, very, very important plans for you. Swami, from 1926 till 1960, he made his divine leelas, miracles, his divine plays. Then from 1960 onwards, he decided to accelerate his mission. And he decided to bring us into his mission, to call his devotees, to be part of the mission of the renaissance of the human consciousness. We are all here playing our part. What is the Sai organization? It is 2 things. It is a hospital. First of all, it's a hospital where we are healing from the most terrible disease, the ignorance of our real self. And second, it's a school. It's a training camp where Swami has called his devotees to help each other to advance in our spiritual awakening. And also, as we have 2 legs, one leg is for our own advancement, our awakening, and the other leg is to help as many people as possible to awaken. Without this second leg, we will not reach the goal. Dr. Narendra not already referred to love. I will give another perspective to that. Imagine that reaching self-realization is to reach the sun. We are on this planet Earth. We have to reach the sun. It's very far, right? So we have to go there. The scripture says, awake, awake, and stop not till you reach the goal. So we have to reach the sun. We can take a spacecraft, not the Elon Musk because they exploded, one of NASA, but it will take a long time. Imagine to get to Mars, so far. But we need to reach the sun. And Swami told once, the universe is very big. To go all around the universe will take a long time, but your mind is very fast. But there is something faster than the mind, and this is love. With the speed of love, pure love, we can reach the sun in a second. What we need is intensity. Dr. Reddy just said it. Intensity. Swami, instead of making us wait 3 days, he said 11 seconds, but 11 seconds of pure intensity. We should not be any more part-time devotees. The spiritual path is not just coming here to sing bhajans or meditating or doing service. Spiritual path is not the sum of dogmas and rituals. Swami said already today that these bhajans are very nice, but really they're not so important. What is important is our state of mind. Spirituality is a state of being. One day Swami called me and he asked me, what is a spirituality? He caught me by surprise. I told him to go within. He slapped my face and said, no, go. And I realized that is not a spirituality. What is a spirituality? It's to get rid of our bad qualities and instead to let flourish our good qualities. So this is something that is happening all the time, in all the aspects and moments of our life. When we are with our family, when we are with the work, with our brothers and sisters, we have to be loving all the time. We have to be pure love. One day, I was also in Prashanti. I was in my first trip. Sorry, Narendra. And I wanted an interview, right? Actually, the first time I saw Swami, I was in Chennai waiting for him. No one knew when Swami was coming. There were 50,000 people. Not one knew if that day he was coming because he was doing a tour in the south of India. And suddenly my heart started to beat very intensely. I said, what is happening? I thought that I had some cardiac problem. In that moment, Swami's car entered the Sundaram. From that day onwards, I always knew when Swami was going to come out for interview because my heart started to beat very intensely before he came. And I always said that my heart recognized him before my mind. My mind is still trying, but my heart knows. So on that trip, I was, the first thing I said to Swami when he came by my side, there were very few Westerners, so I was seated on the first row. And Swami rose the flag, and a lot of petals followed me. And he looked at me, and I said to him, Swami, I want to see you. In my English, I said that. And Swami kept looking at me, and I heard his voice in my mind. He didn't open his mouth. But his voice, I heard it in English, in his voice, but not verbally. He said, but you are seeing me now. This was a telepathic communication. And I answered, no, Swami, interview. He smiled and left. So I was waiting 30, 40 years later, and one day, I was in my room, and at that time I was vice president of another Raja Yoga organization. And there we believed in another avatar. But I was already participating in the Sai activities of the small group of Argentinians who were Sai devotees. And I was there in the ashram, and I felt so much love, Swami taking my letters, giving me Pandamaskara. I was overwhelmed by love. So overwhelmed, when I came back from that trip, I started to go everywhere in Argentina to speak about Swami. And when I started to speak, I started to cry. I couldn't finish a sentence, I was crying. That was how he touched my heart. But that day, I was in the night in my room, feeling his avatarhood. And I said, you are God. And so I took a piece of paper and I wrote in the piece of paper my resignation to the position of vice president of the other organization to surrender completely to him. Morning came, Swami came out for darshan. He usually went to the ladies' side and then to the gents, but that day, instead of doing that, he came from the veranda straight to me, stood in front of me, and he said, yes. I said, yes. Last night to him, he came and said, yes, this afternoon I will see you. So then he gave darshan, and when darshan was over, I decided to go and sat in front of the interview room waiting for the afternoon darshan. But the Seva told me, no, you have to go. This is not the way. You have to come back in the afternoon. If he wants, he will call you. And I thought, this Seva doesn't like my face. He's spoiling the opportunity of having my first interview. I went to my room, and I was so sad. Till afternoon, I was thinking he will not remember, he will not find me. You know, I was like a Juna, completely dejected. So afternoon came, I got a third row that at that time was not so close. Swami, from the veranda, he didn't start doing darshan, but from the veranda he screamed. He said, you! Looking at me, and I stood up, I went to him and I said, yes, Swami. And he said the most wonderful word, go. So then Swami gave darshan, interview came, and other people came, we were all seated there, Swami spoke to all of us, and suddenly he looked at me, and he started to tell me all what I have thought since the morning, that he was not going to remember, that he was not going to find me, all what I had thought. And then he came closer to my ear, and he whispered in my ear the following sentence that I will never forget, and you should not forget. He said, I will never disappoint my devotees. So this is the divine promise he gave to all of us. Let's be careful not to disappoint him. He's giving us so much. He's teaching us. He didn't go anywhere. His physical form may disappear, but Swami is here. Yesterday, Anupam told me, do you smell vibhuti? At the beginning I didn't smell, then I felt the vibhuti. But you know, I smell the vibhuti, not the one you have in these packages. I smell the vibhuti that Swami makes with his hand, that has a special flavor. And also, I heard Dr. Reddy, he said that he remembered that 15 years ago, a lady told him that she had a dream, and in the dream, she saw him building a temple for Swami with a chair in gold. And he said, what is this? I want to go to India. Swami is there. I don't want to build anything in United States. But now this temple is here. So this was part of the plan of Swami long time ago. Dear brothers and sisters, I could be talking to you for a couple of hours, but I don't have time. I would really like to share a lot of experiences with you. I hope I will have some time later on. But I want to tell you that we are really lucky. That's why Swami told us, smile, smile, smile. Because we have to remember that He's in our hearts all the time. He's around us, He's in front of us, below. He's all the time with us. If we remember the omnipresence of God, that He's with us, we will be smiling all the time. May I pray to Swami that he will guide this conference, all the activities. This conference will be much more than all the discourses you will hear, that the workshops in which you will participate, that the bhajans you will enjoy, that all the activities that we'll do here. This conference, Swami brought us here to give us inspiration, to put into practice his teachings. He came here to give us more yearning to advance in our spiritual transformation. He came as he made this conference to let us know a little more about his teachings, go deeper into them, and also help us to have more yearning to apply them into our lives. He brought us here and made this conference for us to have the opportunity to listen to experiences with Swami, so we increase our faith and our love for him. And he made this conference to give us an opportunity to share our love. And most important, he brought us all here to recharge our batteries and to shower on us his divine grace. May you feel it, may you receive this grace and you share with all your brothers and sisters in this planet. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Leonardo. Thank you for these words, and it's always so inspiring to listen to the stories you have to give to us. Let me just share a little secret. Whenever Leonardo calls me as an office bearer, most of the times it's rather late at night. He calls me and then he says, Manfred, and first of all he says, how are you? So obviously he's interested whether I'm good or not. And then he says, just very short. And then I get my instruction, and then he says, all my love, and hangs up. So you never have the chance to give him some of this love back. It is always, all my love, boom. And sometimes I'm sitting there and think, well, his tank must be empty when he does it with all the other office bearers. So if you meet him today, just take the chance before he starts talking to you. Give him some of your love. Especially because he has to carry a severe burden today. Because I would like to say, oh, he's best speaker. And I'm not allowed to do that because he's followed by our Divine Master. And who else I can name to be the best speaker than Swami himself? So the only chance I have is to say, okay, probably second best. That should be enough. And now we have the great pleasure and chance and inspiration to listen to the words coming out of the mouth of Swami himself in a divine discourse about love. Please enjoy it. Sai Ram.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
ప్రేమ యొక్క లక్ష్యము త్యాగం.
The chief purpose of love is sacrifice.
ప్రేమ దేనిని కోరదు.
Love doesn't need anything.
ప్రేమ ఎవరిని దూషించదు.
Love will not criticize anyone.
ప్రేమ ఎవరిని బాధించదు.
Love will not harm anyone.
ప్రేమ నిస్వార్థము,
Love is selfless,
నిర్మలము.
pure.
ఇట్టి ప్రేమతత్వమును మానవుడు గుర్తించుకొనలేక అనేక విధములుగా ప్రేమకై పరితపిస్తున్నాడు.
Man is not able to know such love and yet pines and yearns for love.
ప్రేమ అనగా నిస్వార్థము, త్యాగముతో కూడినటువంటి ఒక తత్వముతో ఈ ప్రేమను మనము విశ్వసించాలి.
We should have full faith in love, which has these two. One is selflessness and the second is
ఈ
sacrifice.
విశాల ప్రపంచమునందు తల్లి బిడ్డల యొక్క ప్రేమ కాని, భార్యాభర్తల ప్రేమ కాని, అన్నతమ్ముల ప్రేమ కాని, తల్లి బిడ్డల ప్రేమ కాని, మిత్రుల ప్రేమ కాని, ఈ అన్ని ప్రేమల యందు కూడాను అంతో ఇంతో స్వార్థము, స్వప్రయోజనం ఉంటుండాలి.
In this world, the sort of love that you find between the mother and the child, between the husband and the wife, and among friends, there is selfishness.
ఎట్టి స్వార్థ స్వప్రయోజనం లేనటువంటి ప్రేమ దైవ ప్రేమ.
It's only the divine love, which is selfless.
ఈ ప్రేమ అత్యంత దూరముగా ఉండినటువంటి వారిని కూడాను సన్నిహితం గావిస్తుంది.
It's the divine love that brings people closer, even though they stay at far distance.
వియోగులను సంయోగం కావిస్తుంది.
The separation would certainly result in reunion.
పశు ప్రవర్తనతో ముడిగినటువంటి మానవుని పశుపతిగా మారుస్తుంది.
The man with the bestial quality will turn himself into the divine.
లౌకిక భౌతిక లోక సంబంధమైనటువంటి యొక్క ప్రేమను క్రమక్రమేణా దివ్యమైన ప్రేమగా మారుస్తుంది.
The physical worldly love would transform into the divine love.
ఈ ప్రేమతత్వాన్ని తెలుసుకోగోరినటువంటి వ్యక్తులు కూడాను స్వార్థ సప్రయోజనాన్ని త్యాగం చేయాలి.
The one who wants to know the nature of true love will have to sacrifice the self-interest and selfishness.
కనుక భగవత్ ప్రేమతత్వాన్ని కోరేటువంటి వారు దివ్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క తత్వాన్ని అభివృద్ధి పరచుకోవాలి.
The one who would like to receive this divine love should develop the divinity within.
నిశ్చలత్వాన్ని నిర్మలత్వాన్ని అభివృద్ధి గావించుకోవాలి.
They should develop the purity, unsullied nature.
ఎన్ని కష్టములు అడ్డు తగిలినప్పటికీ, ఎన్ని విధమైనటువంటి బాధలు మనం అనుభవించినప్పటికీ దీనిని లెక్క చేయక దైవ ప్రేమను మాత్రమే దృష్టి అందించుకొని జీవించడానికి ప్రయత్నించాలి.
One should make an effort, keeping in full view the divine love, unmindful of all the obstacles and the problems and the sufferings that come on the way.
నా యందు, నీ యందు, వారి యందు, వీరి యందు ఉన్నటువంటి యొక్క ఆత్మతత్వం ఒక్కటే అనేటువంటి ఏకాత్మతత్వాన్ని పొందటమే నిజమైన ప్రేమ యొక్క స్వరూపము.
The true form of this love lies in entertaining the feeling of the Atmic principle, which is uniform in everyone.
వ్యక్తులు వేరు కావచ్చును, రూపనామములు వేరు కావచ్చును, కానీ అందరి యందు ఉన్నటువంటి యొక్క ఆత్మతత్వం ఒక్కటియే.
The individual names and forms may vary, but Atmic principle is one.
ప్రతి విషయమునందు కూడాను ఏకాత్మతత్వాన్ని మనము చక్కగా గుర్తించడానికి ప్రయత్నించాలి.
In every aspect, we should know this principle of unity.
ఇట్టి ఏకత్వాన్ని ముఖ్యంగా మనము విశ్వసించినప్పుడే పరిపూర్ణ ప్రేమతత్వాన్ని కూడా మనము గుర్తించడానికి వీలవుతుంది.
When we abide this principle of unity, oneness, you can understand the spirit of
మన
divine
హృదయం
love.
నిండుకును ప్రేమని నింపుకోవాలి.
We should fill our heart with love.
కేవలము హృదయమునందు కల్మషమైన భావమును నింపుకొని పైపైన ప్రేమగా మనం నటించటము ఇది మనకే ద్రోహం చేసుకున్న వారం అవుతాం.
On the other hand, if we fill our hearts with all hatred and enmity and pretend as if we have love, we are betraying ourselves.
ప్రేమ కలిగినటువంటి వ్యక్తికి ఎట్టి ప్రదేశమునందైనా, ఎట్టి పరిస్థితులు ఎందైనా, ఎట్టి కర్మల ఎందైనా కూడాను ఈ యొక్క ప్రేమతత్వాన్ని ఏమాత్రం కూడాను విడువడు.
The one with such divine love will never give it up at any point of time, under any circumstances.
Swamiji, thank you, thank you, thank you. But love is not only a word. Love is to be put into action. And this is what we do every day in the Sathya Sai International Organization. And just to give you a small overview of what is happening in all these different groups and centers all over the world and in the committees we have put together a bunch of highlights showing us how we transform the world with our love in action. And the first one I would like to enter the stage for the Humanitarian Relief Committee is Dr. Hari Konjivana. Please welcome Dr. Hari for his talk.
My humble pranams at the divine lotus feet. Sai Ram, dear brothers and sisters, it's an incredible honor for me to represent the Humanitarian Relief Committee and the work which is being done. I just got on board recently, but I'll try to share a snapshot of what's been happening over the years when we think about humanitarian relief, we always think about some disaster happening across the globe. And, we act right away. Being a doctor, I always think about medical service, but there's more to it than just medical. It's a very holistic approach of really attending to the affected devotees, Sai brothers and sisters across the globe right away, whether it's for food, water, clothing, and later on, medical needs, and subsequently, long and all. First slides I wanted to show. It really brought to our attention that when we work with others in the community, we as an organization can do a lot, partnering with others. Yesterday you heard the faith leaders talking about a lot of the work that they're doing, but one message that came across as a part of extending our love and service to everyone in the community is to work with each other. At the end of the day, it's really the Sai in each one of us that we are serving, our own brothers and sisters in the communities that we are serving. So I think it's very important for us to think about that anytime we do any type of work and collaborating with others. And in Haiti, what really happened was we were able to work with major organizations like the Direct Relief International, the USA foundations, the UN. So we were able to partner with so many other big organizations and really serve the communities. And we are probably the only organization, actually, after the major organizations left after a few to several months. We were there for several years, doing medical service for more than a year and for a few years, actually. So this kind of shows us how much when we come and unite together, we can do so much. The next few slides are really snapshots of what's been happening across the globe in the last several years. There's been focus on, when we think about humanitarian relief, it's not necessarily right after, but any humanitarian efforts because of natural calamities that's been hitting the globe. The war, for example, recently in Ukraine. When we address these issues long-term, it all comes under part of the humanitarian relief, actually. So work such as the dealing with food insecurity in Africa, the floods, which have been hit several parts of the globe, including Europe and several parts of USA recently. Earthquakes in several countries across the globe. More recently, the earthquake in Turkey and in Syria. We've been working with them, and one of the unique things we found in these countries is that because of some other issues, whether it's political or some other local issues, sometimes the people within these countries are left to serve their own brothers and sisters without being able to take the assistance from others. Syria has been an incredible and inspiring example for us where the devotees there have really mobilized themselves to work and go into the communities and serve the communities on their own, even though we are not able to go there directly. I think this is the power of the love and the service that we are seeing across the globe, actually. In Ukraine, because of the war, several of our brothers and sisters from Ukraine have been able to mobilize into other countries, a lot of the European countries, and they've been able to, the people in these countries, the Sai brothers and sisters have been able to help them. They've always also been able to actually mobilize these resources into Ukraine because there is a Sai community in Ukraine and being able to help them as well. These are some of the pictures as we gleam along that you're able to see some of the humanitarian efforts. For Ukraine relief, again, they've partnered with some of the local organizations, especially our brothers and sisters in Zone 6 and 7, and been able to actually help our brothers and sisters from Ukraine. Next slide. One cannot forget, finally, the power of prayer. Dr. Reddy talked about it yesterday, and all our faith leaders talked about it yesterday. I think we should, when we see these things happening across the globe, it really is disheartening sometimes. It really touches our hearts and souls, and we sometimes feel very helpless. But as much as we're able to do from a distance, I think we should all get together to do it. But never underestimate something which all of us can do, no matter how helpless we are from a distance, and that is the power of prayer. The SIO has been, as you know, organizing Akhanda Gayatri throughout in the last few years. And the part of that is reflecting and sharing our own love in praying for the services of these individuals who've been affected by the natural calamities. So we should never underestimate the power of prayer. That probably is one of the biggest services. This whole theme is about love and service, and prayer is part of that love and service. Thank you so much. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Dr. Hari. Slowly, we are running out of time for this morning session. We have heard so many beautiful words, and they have to be digested first before we can proceed. So we stop this morning session here, and you will have another chance tomorrow to listen to all the other activities where we put love into action. Let me just remind you of a few things. First of all, we are going to have our first break now, and right afterwards at 11 o'clock, the workshops start. At 11 o'clock, you should already have taken your seats. And please be aware, if you did not pre-register, to let first those in who have registered, and then if there are still seats available, you may enter. For the flag bearers, once again, at 1:30, please gather outside and don't forget to take your flag with you so that we are able to take a photo and a video. For the workshop leaders, please be aware that you should provide a summary of what's happened in your workshop and deliver it to us on Sunday. So if you are a group of leaders, please make clear who is responsible and take some notes in your workshop so that you are able to present that on Sunday. And now I don't know how you feel, but there was so much love evaporating out of the atmosphere, out of the talks of our speakers, out of this picture there, that I have the feeling my heart is already doing this as Leonardo always felt it when Swami's presence was near. I think we should have all reached this state already, feeling Swami's presence. And that gives me the opportunity to thank him for guiding us through this morning's session and to welcome you back at 11 o'clock in our workshops. Jai Sai Ram.